Hi, my name is Katie, and today we are going to be finding verbs in your prompts. Okay, let's get started with the first prompt. Write an essay comparing and contrasting two of the creation myths we have read in the dancing universe. You should include an introduction and conclusion, as well as several paragraphs showing similarities and differences between the two selected texts. Choose two of the creation myths below to consider in your analysis, and then of course there's all the creation myths for you to choose from. There are several questions you may consider in your comparison and contrast of creation myths. A few of them include: why are humans drawn to creation stories? What type of creation stories did you choose to analyze? Why did you choose these stories in particular? And what do creation stories say about the culture from which they arise? Now I want all of you to pause the video, take a break, and find the verbs. Okay, coming back in, here are the verbs. The most important one on this page seems to be analysis. Analysis is considering the text in a deeper thinking state. So instead of looking surface level, critically analyze it. Analyze. So you would just have to think deeper, look into what the author is saying, what is the text doing, things like that. Okay, next prompt. This semester, we are reading texts that respond to the world as their authors experience or understand it. This assignment asks you, in turn, to respond to a text by conducting a close reading of a short extract and developing an argument based on your interpretation of that passage. Select an extract of 10 to 20 lines from the Odyssey and write a 4-page essay that convinces the reader of the significance of your interpretation. Keep in mind that an exercise in close reading is not the same as a line-by-line commentary. Your analysis does not need to follow the structure of your chosen passage, but should be structured by your ideas and the argument they introduce and sustain. Remember to use and contextualize quotes from your passage, and perhaps allude to other moments in the text when relevant to support and strengthen your argument. Okay, same thing. Pause, come back after you find all the verbs. Okay, here's the verbs. So first we have interpretation, which just means how are you thinking of the text? What are your ideas about it? And then we have convinces, significance, and interpretation, which I think in this one kind of all go together. So convinces would just be, are you able to make the reader believe what you're saying? Are you able to make the reader believe your interpretation? And then significance is just, why is what you're saying important? So altogether, you would be saying, here's what I'm arguing, and I'm trying to make you believe that while also telling you why it's important. And then we have analysis again, which just think of it. Think critically, look deeper into the text. What is it doing? What is it saying? There might even be some elements of critique in the text. And then you have contextualize, which is just to say, use the quotes within context. Analyze the quotes, which you already know how to do. Okay, next prompt. Pick one of the following prompts and write a 4-page argumentative essay that offers a focused comparison of examples from two different literary works we have read this term. This includes the Bible, Laner's Eve's Apology, Milton's Paradise Lost, Rousseau's Second Discourse, the Suffragette Speeches, Morrison's Song of Solomon, and Shakespeare's The Tempest. You should refer in detail to two different texts, but may refer to others in passing for comparative purposes. And then, of course, at the bottom you have all the prompts. Compare and contrast the use of one of the following in two different literary works from this course: morality, corruption, and justice. Compare and contrast the roles given to men and women. Using examples drawn from two different works, discuss the significance and representation of leadership or authority in these literary works. Using examples drawn from two different works, discuss the relationship between the actions of humans and the commands of higher powers in these literary works. And using examples drawn from two different works, discuss the significance and representation of any one of the following: knowledge, envy or jealousy, ambition, and hatred. Okay, same thing. Pause it, and we'll come back after you know all the verbs. Okay, let's look at the verbs. First, we have compare and contrast. This has to be a little bit deeper than surface level, but you do have to consider what are the similarities and the differences between the texts and the ideas that you're looking at. This is where analysis would really come in handy. Then we have given. This might be one you didn't really think of, but it is important to consider the word choice of your professor. With this, they're saying that these roles were given to men and women, not necessarily that they were chosen. So how might that change your argument or your analysis or your thesis? Next, we have actions, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's just what are humans and these higher powers doing? Then we have discuss. Discuss might seem strange, but it's really similar to analysis. It's just thinking deeper about the text and what you're doing. In fact, there might be quite a bit of analysis within your discussion. And then we have significance, which is again just why is this important? How are you going to make someone believe this is important?